Hello everyone, my name is Himanshu Sharma, and in this video we will continue with our Modulith journey. So let's get started. In the previous video, we went through how Spring Boot application can be created having multiple modules, how you define different modules and how they interact with each other. So the last thing we did was we sent an event from module 1, which was received by module 3. So let's quickly see if the application is in the same state. So let me restart the application. And we are getting the log successful, event received. So the flow is we are calling the module one API, and then this API is publishing an event, and then for this event we have a listener available in module three, which just prints the event. So we move forward and refine this application more and see other capabilities of Modulith. So let's get started. Let's stop the application first. And let's refine our test event first. So this time what I'm going to do is I will use a string ID instead of integer, and then I will just generate the getter and setter of these, and then we unrelated problem. Yeah, that's expected because here we are using it one, but we will change it to UUID dot random UUID dot string. That's it. All right, so let's quickly see, run it, and we should be getting a UUID now. Yeah, perfect. All right, so now, so let's change this approach. Currently, our application, we are calling it from the run method. So let's remove this thing, okay, and let's introduce our controller. So let's remove this part. We don't need this thing. So let's remove this and all right, and now let's head to our POM XML and add few dependencies. So let's add some starters here. So we will add web and we will add JDBC. And since we are going to use Postgres, so I will be using Postgres driver here. All right. So where are our dependencies? These are over here. So you can see since it's a Modulith project, it automatically IntelliJ automatically detects that, and it includes Spring Modulith here. And then we have all these four dependencies. All right, I'll remove it from my test dependencies area and I put it over here. That's it. And now, since I'm including JDBC, I also need to make a DB connection. So I have a Postgres running on my local in a Docker. So I have this different window. From here, we will be using our Postgre queries and we will check for Kafka. So currently two containers are running. Kafka, I will get onto this one later. But for now, let's target Postgre. So I'm going to connect my application to this local Postgre server. So let's head to this application YAML file, and here I'm going to the data source uh, URL, and then I will just paste it from here, and then we have a username as Postgres and password as password. All right, and then what I'm going to do is, all right, so this is done. And we're starting to. Okay, so now even the event processing, we are going to change that. So now we are going to use the asynchronous one. So for that, I will enable a sync here. And Also, let me quickly check one thing. Okay, that's fine. Yeah. So, where is that? Okay, so I enabled async here, and then from where I'm sending the data here I'm sending an event. So here I will be invoking async, and also I will be adding transactional here. And then in case of receiving, we can add all those things, but instead we have application module listener provided by Modulith, and we can use it directly. So inside this annotation, it already covers transactional and async. So you can have a single annotation which covers you for asynchronous communication. And just to be sure that it is asynchronous, let's print out the thread name, and we say uh, received event. Okay. And then let's copy this thing and do the same in the sending part. And let's paste it over here, and we say send event. All right, so let's run our application. Started. And then, okay, since we have changed the approach, so I need to add module 1 API, this one. I need to make it as a REST controller now. And let's say this is a post mapping, and I'm saying send event. All right, so let's restart it. And let's head to our endpoint. I'm just going to submit it. It's not expecting anything from my end as a payload, so I'll just right away submit this. And I got a response body empty. And here, yeah. So in the log, we can see that we are getting two different threads. So the send event, when this thing invoke, it uses the asynchronous behavior and invoke a new thread for its processing. And then task two receive event is using a different thread. Okay. And then finally, we are printing out the event received. All right. So in this whole thing, we configured the database connection, but the question is where we haven't seen anything related to DB yet, right? Actually, that thing is happening behind the scenes. So now, if I just go to my DB and execute this query event publication, I can see that there is an event recorded over here. You can see this serialized event is actually your payload. So you can copy it and paste it for now. Right, so FBE7, this is actually the same ID which is here. So our event transmitted and is also got logged in a database, which you can use further for auditing purposes. Now, this event application, if you are running it on your for the first time, you will be getting an error that this doesn't exist. So for that, what you can do is you can just go to the application YAML file here, and then here you say Modulith, and then JDBC schema initialization. So you can say Modulith event JDBC schema initialization. Let's make it this. It doesn't matter, but we only have few properties, so let's make it like this. And let's say it is true. Okay. So now what happens is if that table is not present, even when you're running it for the first time, it will create that automatically. If it is present, then it will not do anything else. So now if I rerun my application, it will not just truncate or delete my table. My data still remains intact. Okay. Now here in this table, we need to focus on this column, completion date. So what this column signifies is if you see any value here, that means that this event is successfully processed. If it was not successfully processed, then you will be getting a null error over here. By successful processing means that you send an event which was received by your listener, and then that listener process that event. That listener consumes that event successfully, right? But what maybe some reason that your system crashes or something happened that event sent, but it was not consumed correctly, right? So let's mimic that behavior. So what I will do is I will add a system exit here. All right, and let's rerun the application or yeah, let's rerun the application and let's submit the request. Okay. So we submitted. So you see, we send the send event and it just says graceful shutdown. Okay. And we can close our terminate the application also. Now let's head to the tools and see the state of our DB. So here what happened is this event was sent but not consumed. So that's why its completion rate is null. Now if I restart my application, okay, so there is a way you can consume that with, okay, you if you want like okay that when it's okay my application terminate due to some XYZ reason, that's fine, but when it resumes, when I am having a healthy container running, my events, the past events which are not yet processed, they should get processed automatically. So for that what you can do is just configure one property over here. So here you will say republish outstanding events on restart and we just say true. Now what I'm going to do is I will just run my application. I will not trigger this. I will just run my application and please focus on the logs here. So I will just run it. Oh, okay, okay, sorry. This is because I have not removed this. Okay, so what I will do is let's see, we still have the same event. Okay, yeah. All right, so it's still not processed. All right, so let's run the application one more time. You see, I did not submit any request. Task 1 received event, and you can see this is the same event ending with F833. And now if I go to tools and re-execute this query again, now it completed. All right. So now what we just noticed is that how your incomplete events, you can like configure your application to consume your incomplete events so that you should not be worried about that. What about that even if my application fails, how I'm going to use the events? I will lose events. So you have that option, right? Okay. Now, second thing is what all right, so we are done with the data part, the events part. Now, another thing is that we can even send events outside this module. Let's say you are doing something in your modular application, but you want to emit an event which needs to be used by any other application, which is outside your uh, domain. Okay, it may be used by a different team, or they may be using a microservice, or they may be using another modular application. You never know. You just know that they need some event, or I want to send an event from on which they can act. So for that, what you can do is you can configure this thing with any external uh, messaging system. You can use Kafka here. So let's integrate Kafka. So there are other options also. I'm showing you the Kafka configuration, but there are other you can try using their documentation. All right, so let's head to the POM XML first, and let's add the Kafka dependency. Let's search for Kafka, and you just access Spring for Apache Kafka, and that's it. So we should be having Kafka somewhere over here, right? Another one is test dependency. Let's leave it. All right. So we have our Kafka now, right? And for this one, what you have to do is I'll just let's get it. Okay, so for this one, let's make our this event that it can be emitted to any external uh, messaging system. So for that, you just need to add externalized Modulith events. Okay, so I'm just configuring it. I'm saying externalized, and let me restart my application. Okay, it should be working now. I don't think any Kafka configuration is needed other than defining the dependencies. And yes, so now I will send the request. And it is sent. Uh, okay, and let's see what happens to my Kafka. So we have a Kafka topics here. Okay, wait. I think I missed something here. Okay, where is that? Oh, okay. Sorry. Actually, this is not supposed to be Kafka. It is supposed to be uh Spring. Okay. Let me. It's not Kafka. So they have the different dependency to use, and that is actually a modulate one. So you just use that one, and let's remove the test also for now. It's Spring Modulate Events Kafka, and it comes from the Modulate package only. Okay. All right. Yeah. So you're going to use the this one, not the direct Kafka. And yeah. So right. Okay, that's resolved. And then hmm. All right. So I just restarted the application and it's just now submit a request. Yeah, it's working. It's working. Okay. All right. So now what happened is I just configured this dependency. I just added this dependency, nothing else. Okay. And yeah, one more thing I did was I externalized my event. So now what happens is that when I send the event, okay, let's show me that up here. See, my module listener is all still working. It's not like either this or that. My application module listener, my internal listener is also working of this application, but it also this event to a external Kafka topic. So let's see in the tools. And here, if I just refresh it, you can see that module one expose test event. So by default, what it is doing is that default topic name is your uh, this one, module one package, like module one expose test event. So that's how it is creating. And let's say you want to change it, you want your own target, right? So that also you can do, and you can name it like target, say new test topic like this, or you can say like, yeah, test topic, fine. Externalize target test topic. So now what will happen is I'm saying target, that means that I want this to send information to this topic. So let's restart my application here. And now let's submit the request. And now let's go to the Kafka, refresh. and we have our test topic, right? So it contains that message. We can create a Kafka consumer here, and you can say that, okay, test topic I want from latest, start consuming. All right. So now what I'm going to do, I will go here, make a couple of clicks. Okay. And then check over here. I am receiving those events. Okay. And then these events are also getting, sorry, let me get back to that window. And these events are also available in your event publication, right? So, so far we see how the events can be logged in your database. And from here you can then again perform a retry also if in case of any application crash or consumer failure. And then we also notice how events can be externalized and sent to any external Kafka topic. All right, so next let's do one thing over here. Yeah, so now we covered this part, uh, and let's see about the documentation thing. So you can even document these things. So they even have libraries for the documentation, and it's very straightforward. So let's get to the test case. Let's stop this application for now, and let's head to the test case over here. And let me add one test. And what it is trying to do is, and to say to write uh, documentation, right? Right. So we say just documenter. So they have this documenter which you can use, and here I'm going to pass the modules. What modules? Actually, we need to use this one again. So we can put it over here. And all right, so modules, and you can say write. So they have different options. I'm just showing you one like this plant UML. Let me paste this thing. Right. And then you can say write aggregating document like this. All right. So let's run our application. Sorry, the test case, and it is successful. So now in the target, you can see Spring Modulith docs over here. You can open this. It is initializing, just saying, yeah, see, you're getting a nice diagram. Module 3 listens to module 1, and module 2 actually depends on module 1, right? And we have components like this PUML diagrams. And there are a lot of options. Like even you can this customize this part also. So like you can define a documenter diagram options you can select. So like say to defaults, want to change with style, and then you can specify something like triangle style, this one. So you can play around onto these based on your need, and it will now generate a different kind of document, maybe. Yeah, something. Yeah, I think the arrows change. Yeah, looks a bit different. This one looks more or less. Yeah, this one also looks a bit different. Yeah, so you can change the styling or documentation part, but you have this library. You can right away. It will right away give you the documentation of how your application is structured, which you can pass on to the to team to get a understanding of your project. Okay. So now this is and then okay, one more thing you can do is you can also include actuator in this one. All right. So what you can do is you can go here, and for actuator you can add this dependency right away instead. Let me copy this one. For actual kind of capabilities, you can use this Spring module starter inside. Okay. And as we do for our earlier, other actuator endpoints, the same logic applies here. So you can say, for now, let's include everything, right? So let's include everything, and let's restart our application. All right, started. So now let's make a request and see what it will give. So what you can see is actuator. Let's get right. Yeah. So where is the get? Yeah, so these are available. So let's use the Modulith one. All right. And let's run it one more time and see. So this Modulith gives me the whole structure. Module one, submodule one, module two, display name, everything. Right. So you can use this also. And then yeah, I mean these are the points available for you. Let me show you one more time. These ones. These are the different actuator on endpoints available. You can use this one module to get the idea about your application structure. All right. Now, there is one last thing I want to add on to this one is, so there is a concept of a moments API. So let me pull in this thing over here, right? So moments, a passage time API. So this is with respect to this blog post. You can go through this post also. So the part is like the idea is like it will keep on sending the events, and the event on which you want to act upon, you can do that instead of using a cron job which will get scheduled and only a scheduled event is uh, um, triggered. So yeah, so that's a very high level thing. You can go through this article. It's a nice article about the actual concept. Okay, so all right, so now let's implement this part. So Spring actually provide this Modulith also have this moments thing in their application. I mean in their toolkit. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, toolkit. So let's add that over here. And that is actually this dependency. So I will just add one dependency, one more modulate moments. All right, and let's resolve this one. And let's stop the application for now. Okay, so to play around with this one, what I'm going to do is I will create module 3 API also as a REST controller. Okay, and then I will create one method as, let's say, test moment. Okay, and then you're saying it's a moment endpoint. All right. So by default, this moment API runs on your system clock. The clock it is using is your system one. So what I'm going to do is, and also it provide you one object as time machine. So what you can do is, so you will be getting this what you call time machine bean. Okay, and let's add a constructor parameter for now. Okay. But for this to be enabled, you need to add one configuration. So you have to go to your application YAML, and then here you have moments, and then you need to enable time machine. And let's say I'm going to say true. Okay. So now I will have this bean available with me. So with time machine, you can time as the name suggests, like you can based on time machine, you can give to any point of time, right? Past, present, future. Similarly, here you can change the time with respect to time machine. So it's not going to impact your system clock, it will be internal. So now what I'm going to do is I will just write a very small code. Uh, say I want to run it like 7 days, and I want to shift the time. I want to shift time, duration of days, let's say one. Okay. So I want to shift this. So every time, so in this loop, from 0, so 7 times I'm shifting the day by one. So if time machine is starting at 13 Jan, so it will be 14, 15, 16, 17 like this. And it is emitting actually. Whenever this thing is happening, it is emitting. So what we can do over here is this is this one, and then in the module internal data, where is that? Our internal data 3 here. So here I'm going to add a say moment listener. Okay, and then say final days day has passed like this. Okay, and this is going to be our event listener, synchronous one. Okay, you can make it asynchronous, it doesn't matter. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I will print the this thing day of this one. So day has passed dot get date. Okay, and you can say date with this. Now, what I'm saying is if day has passed dot get date dot get day of week. Okay, let's say Saturday, right? So then I can print anything. Let's say I'm printing now, it's printing, but you can emit further event or do anything, right? All right. So let's run our application now. All right. And let's hit our moment one. Where is that? Module 3 API moment, right? So we have this moment. So I will just trigger it once. And you can see like it is working on our system clock. So 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. And then I got this print. So what happened is it keeps on sending internally. And then this one is also receiving, right? I'm getting this date log every time. But on set, and then for whichever event I am interested in, I will take that and then I can do whatever I want. I can print anything, do whatever stuff I want to do. Okay. So in contrast to this, in case of cron job, what happens is that you scheduled something that, okay, on that particular day, emit something or create an event or do some task. But here, in case of moment, you are getting a series of events. Okay, and now it is up to the receiver on which day you want to do or on which event you want to take an action. So with this approach, your sender, in our case, yeah, so in our case, the sender, the API part, this file, it don't know what receiver is doing, what receiver wants. It just keep on sending. Okay. So we are making we are doing a decoupling over here. So sender don't know what exactly needs to be sent. It keeps on sending, okay, based on the code, and then the receiver have that logic that okay, on which event I need to take an action. Okay, while in case of cron job, the wherever you're writing the job at that time, that sender itself is aware that okay, this particular job needs to be executed. So this is the biggest difference in this one. And yeah, what I was saying is you can even use module listener and you can still, it will still work. So I can just do it like this and yeah, send it and it did not work. Any guesses? Yes, you're right. We need to add transactional over here. This might be a issue which you might face. So let's do it. Submit. Yep, now it's working. Okay, so let's do a last final quick recap of today's session. And in this, what we did was we first defined our test event. We created a UUID, and then we sent that event using application module listener. We received that event using the application module listener, and for that we configured a web. I mean, web is not actually mandatory, but DB. So database we added JDBC. So we connected. Where is that? Module three. No, sorry. Yeah, module three. So you're receiving over here. So we configured application module listener to listen to the events, and we make sure that events are getting logged in our database. And for that, we added our uh, data JDBC. And then we also check how you can rerun the failed or not completed events. Okay, by configuring the one property in the application YAML file. And then we went into connecting to Kafka. We externalized our event so that it can emit to any external messaging system and that can be further used by any other application. Then we also get into the insight where we see the actuator endpoints, and you have one endpoint for Modulith, where you can get your dependency, your module structure. And then in moments, we get to see how you can send a series of events, and it's up to the receiver on which event they want to act. And in between this, we also covered about the documentation, how you can simply generate your own documentation without much of an effort. All right, so that's all in this video, and thank you everyone. Thanks for watching. If you have any suggestions or feedback, please let me know in the comment section. Thank you and have a nice day.